All right, take her also to Udwara. Take her also to Udwara. My mother looked at Baba. Again she felt, now this girl is to get married. What is Udwara going to do to,
Yeah.
It's a religious place and it's a very different kind of place. There are very poor people who stay there, or Zoroastrians, but they're on the very poor side, because they, how to say, people coming from out, somehow they make little bit money there. What all they do anyway, they do their living somewhere. Anyway, my mother again was puzzled. What is Udwara going to do now to the girl to get married? That thought came in her mind, but she put that thought behind us. No, never mind. What Baba says goes always. I must obey Baba. So her love and faith in Baba made her say, yes, Baba, I will take her to Udwara, just as you want me to. Baba said, all right. And then looked around here and then. My mother saw that now nearly everybody had left and all that. So they also got up to leave, and they left. And when they came home, my mother told us girls, me and my sister, to pack. We are going to Udwara. Oh, and my sister was very happy because we hadn't had a nice, journey in the train for a long time. So we were very happy. Just schooling and in the house and learning lessons was not very interesting. So now to travel to Udwara was very nice. Why? Because Udwara is a nice place. It is seaside. It is seaside, and the town, there is a, what would you call it, fire temple. Very big fire temple. The biggest fire temple in India for the Zoroastrians is Udwara, like a pilgrimage, So Zoroastrians, once in a while, they must do this pilgrimage, and so they go to fire temple. So my mother also, but my mother, what she didn't know, she asked this Parsi lady, wouldn't she like to come to Udwara with her, and we'll be a nice party together, we'll all go together to Udwara. For so long time we haven't done this pilgrimage, My mother couldn't tell her about Baba, because in those days, Zoroastrians were not following Baba, they wouldn't understand. My mother knew it. So she just told her to come with her to Udwara. That girl, the young woman was very happy about it. So, oh, yes, I would love to. And so we all went to Udwara, And when we went to Udwara, you have to first pray in the fire temple, which is, you must do that, So we went to the fire temple and all that. And after the fire temple, it's real fun, you're in the seaside, gathering shells or making sand castles, and we children were enjoying ourselves and all that. And you have very good things to eat, everything, fish and all. Anyway, we were there there for 4 or 5 days. But when we went there, on the second day, I'm talking about the second day, the very second day, my mother saw that my sister was feeling quite well. And she was eating well. She was not being depressed at all. She was just her normal self, and was, what would you say, had good appetite, and she was eating, and healthy young girl, My mother saw this and she was very happy about it. And anyway, we stayed there about 4 or 5 days. We came away, and then we came to Pune. When we came to Pune, a few days, maybe, I don't know how many days. I was very young that time. Let me see. My mother started thinking that now my sister got well. Now, what about that young woman who has to get married? Now, how will that come about? My mother was worried about her. What can she do about it? But it has to come about. How will it come? When she was young and robust, she didn't have an offer of marriage, and now, when she's nearing 40, who's going to marry her, you see? So my mother found it was quite impossible for her to get married. So she waited and all that. But what do you think? The duration of the time, I don't know, maybe 1.5 months or 2 months or something like that. She heard that this girl had the offer of marriage. At her age, when she was actually nearly 40 she was, and she got an offer of marriage. My mother, and then she was married. My mother was so happy about it, and from that day, she, what would you call it? More faith and love for Baba. My mother had that. What she, what Baba said, she did what Baba told her to do, and because obeying Baba, what would you say? Her wishes were granted. We say yes. And when this girl was happily married, my mother was very happy. By that time, then Baba's telegram had come. It was some time after that, 6 months. I don't know the duration time. I don't remember. Anyway, my mother had, when she was alone with Baba, Baba used to come back and forth to Pune, go around India, and then in Pune for 2 days. So when he came, a word was sent to us that Baba is in Pune. Would you like to come and have darshan? Somebody gave us this message. I don't know who it was. My mother would always go, and I used to be with my mother also. And then, so she would want to talk privately with Baba. Those days, Baba didn't mind anybody talking to him privately. So in that time, must be that time only, that she had asked Baba to that she wanted to stay with him and to serve him, because she knew now that to serve a perfect master was the real thing, and she would like to do that. But Baba said, but how can you serve me, because I'm not staying in one place. I'm going around touring, and I have not made Merabad my permanent headquarters. I have not, yes, my permanent stay there. But when I do stay there and open a woman's ashram, which I have not done as yet, not thought of, I will call you means I will call you first. In that way Baba meant it and said, I will call you. And so when we were in Pune, Baba had come to Meherabad, and we were in Pune. Baba sent a telegram saying, come as soon as possible and bring one trunk of clothes that will last you for a year, clothes for a year, and a bedding, nothing else. And so we got this. We were very happy, and my sister was married, so we got packing and very excited about it. We got all our new clothes out of the cupboard, and we started packing the trunk and so on. Anyway, we got packed in 2 days, and what did we? The whole house, everything was there. Even valuable things were there also. There was a safe and everything. Whatever there was, my mother just put a big padlock on the door, and she said, we leave everything in charge of Baba, in Baba's charge, he'll know what to do. And there were the 2 horses in the stable, one carriage horse, one was a riding horse, and the groom was there, the other servant. My mother said, we don't tell them anything, because if we tell them, then it'll be a, what do you call it? It'll take time. It'll be a business to sell the horses, do this, that. My mother was not what would you say? Not able to do. She couldn't do it. She just wanted to go to Baba, leave everything. So they put a padlock on the door, and we just left as if we are going to another country, like that, Yes. So we came to Meherabad, and there we stayed with Baba, but our 2 rooms. Baba's old aunt was there, myself and mother, and one room. There was another room also, but this one room we stayed, and we cooked for Baba and the Mandali in Meherabad. We came to Meherabad and stayed there for maybe about 20 days or 15 days. That time, actually, I don't remember, but short time. And I used to bring in the firewood and feel very proud. I'm doing this, and I'm also being useful and all that. And from school, you didn't know not much about cooking and all that, and so on. But I used to take the cooking, the vessels that are empty, the cooking vessels, after they're empty, then you have to scrape them and wash them. So there was no running water. There was a big tub with a tap. So I would be near the tub scraping and trying to wash and all that. And that was after staying there for some days. Baba was in seclusion in that little room, do you know? Under the tree, there's a little room where the table is. There's a small room. Don't I remember? It has a parapet all 4 sides. That's Baba's room. Down the hill.
Jopti.
Jopdi, they call it Jopri. But it was called Agra Koti very first. We asked the name, it was called Agra Koti, but now they call it Jopri, but never mind. What I want to say, Baba was in seclusion there. And our rooms were like this, such a way that from Baba's little room, cabin, Baba was in seclusion for some days, even that time. From that time I've seen Baba being seclusion and fast. So Baba was there, a bit far like that, and our room was like that, We could, when we came out, we could see Baba's room and Baba's door in it. So when Baba had finished doing his work, seclusion work, universal work, he must have been, he did not step out of the room. It was a tiny room, and Baba did not step out of the room. Only thing that Baba was talking. That time Baba was not in seclusion, and what would you call it? Silence. Baba was not on silence. I was cleaning the pots and pans and all that, and then only one Mandali was allowed to come to our women's quarters and ask if any help, if we want any help or anything. Most especially had to bring water from the well, draw water from the well and fill our tub, which had a tap to it. And so and this was outside. It's outside in a field like this, outside the house. And he was filling this tap. You have bamboo here, and then 2 containers of big tin boxes, the kerosene boxes which have which fill. Each box carries 1.5 pail, 1.5 3 pails at a time. He brings on his shoulder, so he was doing that, and I was washing my dishes. Then he emptied both the boxes, and he stood there and he talked to me, and he said, "Do you know how fortunate you are? Do you know about Mer Baba? You know about who he is?" I said, "Yes, he's Prophet Master." "Yes, Prophet Master." And he told me many things about Baba and their life in Mandali and other things. Very interesting. He was telling me. And I was listening, and then the talk finished, and he again took his, tin boxes and went away and brought more water and all. But Baba had seen from there that he was talking to me, for it took quite some 5 or 8 minutes or 10 minutes to talk. So Baba's seclusion work had finished, and he must have been inside the door, but from there he must have seen me talk to him. So when Baba's seclusion was over, 2 days, because sometimes 7 days, 5 days, like that seclusion. So this 5 days were over, and when Baba came out and he went to the Mandali's quarters, that was far away. Baba stayed with the Mandali, the other side, and we women this side of the road. And then Baba came from the Mandali, then he came walking fast. I saw him, he had this Kamli coat, this black coat, Kamli coat that is in the museum. He had that coat on, his hair open like this, and sajra flowing in the breeze like that. And he was walking fast. He was so beautiful, he's very slim. His skin, Baba's skin was very fair, Fair means on the fair side, Baba's. It's like your skin. Baba's on the fair side. And so, brown hair on the flying in the breeze, and sajra, and he was walking fast. He crossed the road and came over. And I'm looking, Baba's coming. I told that is Baba's coming. I looked at Baba, that was so beautiful. Baba came inside the house, and then we asked my mother and told about the cooking, that they wanted a bit earlier, it comes a bit late, and something you had to talk. So he talked with with his aunt, my mother. He talked, and then he turned around and looked at me and said, when working outside, cleaning the vessels, this Mandali's name is, in those days, his name is Nervous. He is not living now, but he was a very young person, and he loved Baba very, very much, so dearly, very much he loved Baba. So Baba asked me, what was Nervous talking to you yesterday about that, I got very surprised. When did Baba see me talking to me? So, but I tried to remember what was it. And I remembered, I said, Baba, he was telling me about you and about his life with you, and Mandali and who you were, and how had gone to Baba Jan and how Baba Jan had kissed you and all these things that I don't know. And he told very interesting things. Oh, he talked about me. Yes, Baba. Baba smiled and he didn't say anything. Then Baba again went back, to the Mandi's quarters, the other side of the road. We were on this side of the road, and that building is a pity. It is not there. The government had it pulled down, but it's a real pity because I had Baba's darshan in that room, and many others had Baba's darshan. For first time darshan in that room, and that was the place where Baba very first, when he came to Merabad, he stayed in that place, and he played the drum. He played the drum, and he sang on the sitar, Qawwali songs, and bhajans, composed by the perfect masters, very beautiful bhajan. And the village people used to come to Baba to listen to the songs Baba sang so beautifully, and they were very, what would you call it, happy and surprised to know that Baba can sing such beautiful songs in their language, Marathi. Baba could sing in Marathi because Baba he knows 6 languages, and it comes very natural to him, and he sings Marathi, and also he knew other languages. Now what I want to say is this, that the villagers were much attracted to Baba. When first Baba went to was staying in Merabad, these villagers kept away. They did not know how can they have conviction, because in this thing in India there are always Hindu perfect masters, or Mohammedans, or Hindus, but never a Parsi. So they could never have conviction. They could not have conviction. So who is this Parsi? He did not. Parsi means the rest. What I want to say. Of course, they did not know the word Irani. So who is this Parsi? He calls himself saint. And they could not have conviction. Could not understand. But very gradually they came to know. They got more and more interested in Baba. And the few that came to Baba to bow to him, and Baba sang these bhajans to them and talked to them about Tukaram and spiritual thing, on spiritual line. Baba talked a little bit like that to them, what they could understand. They were very, very impressed and very interested. And so naturally, next time, more of the villagers came to Baba that next evening when Baba play on the drum and sing bhajans and all that, and they were very happy. And so the women and children also came, and of course, naturally, the whole village came to know about Baba, and they were all gathered. Now, what happened was, I'm talking about that period was, let me see, this thing. One day, that same period I'm talking about is, when we were there, Baba one day told me he wants kanji, a liquid drink, that is made hot on the fire. Don't you know kanji?
Semolina.
Yes, semolina. Yes, semolina. What is sago? Sago, yes. So he wanted kanji of sago, and I didn't know how to make the kanji. So, so I rushed to to our place where 2 rooms are. We had the fireplace there. I told my mother to help me to make this kanji. So my mother told me so much water I had to put in to make it liquid, and so on. So we made it a little bit sweet also, and I took it over. But then I remembered there was no cardamom. There has to be cardamom in it. What to do? So I ran and fetched some cardamom, but we didn't have that thing to make it fine powder, to grind it, because the stone that we had the what would you call, ginger and garlic smell, and that won't do. So what to do? I was in a fix now. What to do? So I ran over to this nervous means this one person who used to talk to me. So I said, please help me. I don't know what to do about this cardamom. What shall we do? So he said, it's very easy now. We'll bring a nice clean stone, wash it, dry it, and then there was a car, Adi's or somebody's car was waiting there. And that car, the footboard somewhere, there was a metal, stainless metal, something very clean it was. So we washed that part, and on the car, the footstep of where you step in the car, but one place there was metal, and we washed that clean. We wiped it off with a kerchief clean, and we put the cardamom and took the stone, and would you believe like that? We made the thing powder, and took out the, the skin of the cardamom. We peeled it and made little powder, tiny, put it on the kanji, and then I took it to Baba. It's so funny. I can't. It's very. How would you say it? Is like what I want to say. I don't have the words to say. Means it was so. No, what I want to say, that Baba being the God man, the ancient one, of course I did not know he was God man, but I knew he was perfect master. But anyhow, I had to have the cardamom powder and the kanji. It has to be that flavor. So one night Baba, kanji, the powder had to be made on this footstep of this footboard of this, what do you call this, car, and with the stone, what I mean to say. So it was very like this. Anyway, Baba enjoyed it. Baba liked it. Baba says, very good kanji, that. But we didn't tell him how the powder was made anyway, and all that. Then that evening, Baba was singing. Somebody told us that Baba's singing on the sitar today. Oh, and then we all, women, 3 of us, we went there. And we heard Baba singing, yes. We went over from our place to where Baba was there, That rooms, the rooms which I say is not there. It's very beautiful, big room. The Adi was playing the sitar and Baba was singing, playing the drum softly, keeping time. And Adi was playing and Baba was singing very beautifully. Singing very beautifully, he had most beautiful voice. So the men, I don't know how many men there were because I didn't look much that way, but there were men that, how do you say, on this side of Baba. And we women were on this side of Baba. I was sitting like this, not quite here, but here, like in front, not quite in front of Baba, but sideways, but facing. And the others were sitting, women, my mother and Baba's old aunt. And then Baba was singing and playing most beautifully. He was singing, take the high notes so beautifully. He sang with so much feeling, depth of feeling Baba was singing, and with all his heart, like it was so beautiful. When he's singing, he puts all his thing in it. I don't know what you would say, his heart in it, and he was singing so beautifully. And so I was watching him singing, so how would you say, quite entranced and looking at him like that. And then I saw his fingers, playing the drums so beautifully, his fingers attracted me, looking at his fingers also. And then after just a second or two, Baba stopped singing and he asked me, he was talking, so he asked me, what are you thinking about? Oh, out of all these many years, this woman, Baba asking me what I'm thinking about, I got very this thing, sort of flustered, and I knew what I was thinking about. I was thinking about Baba's fingers. So I was glad I was thinking of Baba. So I said, Baba, I'm looking at your fingers, they're very lovely fingers. Your fingers are very lovely. Baba held up his hand and said, you like my fingers? Yes. I said, yes, Baba. All right. And then he started playing. I said nothing other than, but he was happy that I was thinking of him, not anybody else. And I was happy also that. And that was the first experience I had that Baba asks you. Yes, exactly, Baba.
How
So
old
lovely.
were you then, Mehera?
Huh?
About how old were you?
But I was going on with my 16th year. That is, I was 15.
15.
I was going on my 16th year. So then, so the singing finished and we went to our own quarters, to our own rooms. Then after a day or two, Baba said he was going to Quetta and that he will travel first, journey first to Quetta with the men, and we women have to come afterwards, after 2 days. Baba didn't want to travel with us women, so he went first. And so we were in charge of Gustaji, Meru's father, Rustam, and who was Naja's father. Masaji. Elderly, but he was robust. So anyway, we came to, Baba was in Bombay, and from Bombay, he was on his way to Quetta, and then we came to Bombay. So the place was now, what do you call it? The room that Baba was using now, it was, there's space for us now, for us to stay there, but because that flat was just, it was a lovely big hall, and the 2 bedrooms, but they don't belong to this house. What do you call it? This flat where they were staying was Khorshed's parents' house. Khorshed, Anyway, then we stayed there. We went to Quetta after that. When we arrived at Quetta, Baba came and how our journey was. Was it easy? He would talk, the small talk, and ask us how we were all kept well on the journey and all that. It was a comfortable journey. Everything he talks. And then we went back to the Mandali. And then every morning Baba had his, he stayed with the Mandali always next, our room was a very big room, and in the room not a stick of furniture. A lovely big carpet, a cotton carpet, you mean cotton? No, I don't know what you call it. A cotton carpet, but this is red. It's not red. It's plain like this ordinary color.
Dari.
Like the hall you have in the darshan hall.
Dari.
Yes, in the darshan hall. But it's a very large car. All our beddings are rolled up. In the night we roll it open, and then in the morning that was our bedding. Anyway, Baba every morning had his bath in the Mandali's quarters, in the bathroom there, and he would come, and we were in the room, and we looked up. Baba was in the doorway. Look, Baba looked so beautiful. His hair open on his shoulders, and his white sajra, clean sajra, and he was coming in. But to look at him in the doorway was very beautiful. He looked. And so we are all looking at him. And Baba came and sat down on the little carpet that was his seat and a cushion at the back. And then Baba told Adi's mother, Gulmai, to comb his hair. And then he called his girls. There were only 3 of us at that time. Naja, Khorshid is Baba's sister-in-law, his big brother's wife, and myself. Only 3 girls we were. And then amongst the women there was Baba's aunt, my mother, Gulmai, that is Adi's mother. And so now Baba said, your girls come and sit here in front of me. So we all came and sat. Baba said, what prayers do you pray, Baba asked. And so we said what we prayed. Baba said, only that much we prayed. You bring your pad and pencil, take down the prayers that I dictate to you. Oh, we were so happy. We quickly went and got a pencil and pad, and we sat in front of Baba, and we were ready. And Baba dictated the prayer, and then after he finished dictating, he would explain the meaning and talk about this prayer. And then he told Naja to show her pad, has she taken down, write what Baba has dictated, the prayer. So he would read what Naja has written, and it was okay, just a mistake or two. Baba corrected and gave it to her. Then Khorshid's pad, Baba took the writing pad and he saw it and gave it back. It was okay. And he asked me to... The fun was that I had no practice in writing Gujarati, because we were all the time in the English school, the Convent of Jesus and Mary in Pune. We were as boarders where my father was living. After my father died, then we were day scholars. So we were all the time in the convent school. But it was good that our elders had thought about this, that these girls are learning English and they know only English language. They must know how to read and write in Gujarati. This is our language and they must know. So a tutor was kept. Won't you sit down? Yes. There's space here also.
Sit here.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. So our elders had arranged for a tutor to teach us Gujarati in the evening. So when we came from school, before that, we were so happy. But we can't go to the kitchen without washing our hands and feet and face, everything, and then must go to the kitchen and have a light, what do you call it, snack. Yes, because we were hungry and all that. So we would go to the kitchen and our aunt would give us something nice to eat and all that. Then we would wash our hands and we rushed to the garden and play and all that. We didn't care about lessons. We wanted to play first, and all that. No, but this time what happened was, I tell you, yes. So now the tutor was arranged for to come and teach us. On the front veranda, our family was always the back veranda where the kitchen is, dining room is, and that side. But on the front, they did not much use that there was no need to use the front veranda. So the tutor would be waiting on the front veranda, and when we came by, we saw the tutors. We just learned. We had just finished schooling, and now we have to learn the Gujarati lessons also. It was too much. We were also tired and hot, and we had enough of, learning at school, and again we have to start learning Gujarati lessons. It was too much for us, but we had to learn. So it was good that we did learn for a short time. We finished learning the what you call it, the preparatory book, preparatory is ABCD in Gujarati, ABCD, or that, and then the first book comes. So we just had finished learning the first book, and by that time this tutor was no more coming. He didn't come anymore. It happened. So it was good. We had learned just that much. So I knew how to write, but I didn't have practice all these years. I just gave up writing or reading in Gujarati. I had no need to. Anyway, we were still busy learning in the English schools, and then my sister wanted me to learn the piano. So I was learning piano. I liked to play the piano. I saw my sister playing piano, so I liked it. And we had a piano at home. So then after a few days, the sister says, "No, you can't just learn piano. You can't play piano well unless you know the theory. You must learn the theory." I said, "My dear, what to do? I didn't want to learn anything more." But now she's telling me to learn the theory. That was too much for me, because I was struggling with my class lessons in my classroom in school, and now I have to learn the piano theory. And what do you think? My Saturday and Sunday, which I had, holiday, now my Saturday was cut. Half day went in learning theory. So in the morning, on Saturdays also, we had to go to the convent so far. It was nearly 2 miles. We walked there just to learn the theory. So anyway, I had agreed, and we learned.
Meanwhile, what did you kasi days too?
Huh? Yes, I'll come to that. Anyway, then what I want to tell you is that's now we end this thing. I gave a piano practical exam, and I passed in that. Somehow I scraped through, and the theory exam I gave, but I got 95 out of 100. So that was something. Well, anyway, but somehow I had to leave that school because my sister finished that school. She finished examination of Cambridge. So that school was very far from our home and all that, and some other reason also. My mother didn't want me to come walking alone here. So I had to go to a nearer school that was situated near our house, St. Helena's. So there I go. Now that's another story. I'll tell you about what happened with Baba in Quetta. So Baba took my writing pad out of my hand, and he said, "What? You haven't finished writing the prayer? It's only 2 lines written." Baba said, "You've written only 2 lines." I said, "Yes, Baba, I can't write very fast because I don't have practice in writing Gujarati." He says, "What? Your parents didn't teach you Gujarati?" I said, "No, Baba, we were schooling, English school in the convent of Jesus and Mary, and I didn't go to Gujarati school, have very little practice writing Gujarati, and so I couldn't write fast enough." So Baba said, "All right, give me your pad and pencil." So I quickly gave him the pad and pencil.